So, for years, the startup playbook said the same thing. You gotta raise money, you gotta hire engineers, you gotta scale your headcount, you gotta burn capital. Just burn through all of your money and repeat it. And if you weren't doing that, if you were building alone, without a team, without funding, you weren't a real company. You were a freelancer with a little product. But I believe that framing is breaking. Not because building got easier, because leverage got stronger. One focused operator with the right stack can now execute workflows that used to require entire departments. And the operators who understand that early are going to build wealth the people playing the old game will watch from the outside. Not by building bigger companies, but by building narrower companies. I'll explain that in a minute. The traditional startup model worshipped headcount because headcount was the only way to scale output. More engineers meant faster shipping, more salespeople meant more pipeline, more support staff meant fewer churn events. The math made sense when software was hard to build and expensive to maintain. But every hire adds friction that doesn't show up on the org chart. Meetings, management overhead, misalignment between what the founder wants built and what the team understood. Communication latency between the person who knows the customer's problem and the person writing the code. Burn rate that turns a runway from 2 years into 8 months before anything ships. Most small businesses don't actually need a team, they need solved problems. That's a different product category. The operators I'm building for, property management companies, real estate operations teams, small business back office workflows, they don't have time to hire a developer, manage a sprint cycle, and wait for a ticket to close. They have a workflow that takes 3 hours a day, and they want it to take 15 minutes. One person who understands their specific problem is more valuable to them than a team that needs to be briefed on what it is. That's the opening. That's where the leverage lives. So, horizontal AI tools are becoming commodities. ChatGPT is everywhere. Zapier has AI features. Every CRM is adding an AI layer to their product. The generic tools are racing to the bottom of the pricing floor and the top of the feature list simultaneously, which means they're solving nothing specific for anyone in particular. Vertical AI is different. One niche, one workflow, one customer type with one painful outcome. When you build that narrowly, the AI component isn't a feature. It's the delivery mechanism for something that specific that the operator couldn't get from the generic tool. So BeatLogic does one category of thing. Browser native automation for real estate and property management operations teams. Not AI for real estate. That's horizontal. Oh my God. Cut that out. Not AI for real estate because that's horizontal, but automation for the specific workflow where a property manager manually pulls comps, logs leads, monitors listing changes, and enters data across 3 different platforms every morning. That workflow automated. That specificity creates a competitive moat that no horizontal platform can close by adding a feature, because the feature requires understanding the workflow at a level that it doesn't come from a product roadmap. It comes from being inside the operations with the operator until you understand the problem better than they can articulate it. So one person close to the workflow with the right stack can do that. A team building horizontally cannot. So the software as a service model is shifting from selling seats to selling outcomes. Old software as a service priced on users. New AI native products priced on outcomes. Nobody cares how many users logged in if the workflow still takes 6 hours. But if one automation saves a property manager 20 hours a week, that's measurable value, and value pricing creates asymmetric upside for small operators. The math on this is real. A property management company managing 100 units, billing 10% management fees on average rents of $2,000 is running a $240,000 per year business. Their operational labor cost, the time spent on tenant communication, maintenance coordination, lease renewal, and reporting is typically 30 to 40% of their overhead. That's a $72,000 to $96,000 a year in time costs. Much of it on manual workflows that doesn't require human judgment. So if I automate $30,000 worth of that time cost, a $500 a month contract is priced at 1/5 of the value I created. That's the proposition. It's not a technology sale. It's a time-saving sale to someone who already knows the ROI. So this is the model I'm proving with BeatLogic. Not building the biggest company, building the closest to the workflow company in one specific niche, and documenting every step of what that actually looks like. For anyone building this model, here's the honest stack breakdown. The automation layer is Python with Playwright. Browser native, no API dependency. It works at the UI layer that always exists. Docker for containerization, so the worker runs the same way in every environment. Railway for deployment. Well, not Railway for deployment anymore. It used to be. Now it's render for deployment, cheap, fast logs, everything in real time. And then the data layer is Supabase. We got Postgres under the hood, real-time subscriptions, authentication built in. Free tier is generous enough to run a real product. When the pipeline breaks, the error rates surface in the dashboard immediately. The front end is React/Next.js on Vercel. It's the same deployment pattern as render. You push it to main, it deploys, no development operations overhead. My outreach, I use Hunter.io. I used to use Apollo.io, but it proved to be a lot more expensive, twice as expensive. But I use Hunter.io for lead identification, LinkedIn for relationship building, no paid ads, but targeted outreach to operators in the ICP where I can show them a specific workflow I already built for their exact problem. One person, that stack, real product running in production. That's the proof of concept I'm building in public. The next generation of software companies may not look like companies at all. They'll look like one operator with systems powerful enough to multiply themselves. Why am I hearing myself now? Are we good or not? So the founders who survive this era won't be the loudest builders. They'll be the most leveraged ones. So what's one workflow in your business or industry that should be automated but isn't? Drop it in the comments. I'm reading every response, and I'm building the ones that keep coming up. I'm Kai from Bridgeport. This is the Sovereign Architect. You know what it is. See y'all next time. Right when we were ending it. Interesting.